From Washington, D.C., this is the Beyond the Dumbbells Show, your source of information and inspiration for living an audacious life. Hear interviews and social banter with special guests on Fitspiration and news from around the globe. Here are your hosts, fitness and lifestyle experts, Brian and Jenny Sweeney.
Hey, what's up?
Howdy.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about backsliding. Relevant topic. Well, right now, it's backsliding is an issue that comes up often, so I think it's worth having a conversation about. It just happened to have hit us recently, and it's okay. It's not meant to say, you know, when you go back from vacation or a trip, or you've been away from the gym for a little while and your trainer sees you. I know more people are more freaked out about the trainer having an idea than the person themselves. So the person might be upset, but they're more worried about what their trainer thinks when they come back from a vacation or a long absence, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we just got back. We went away for a little while, and there's periods where people are, when they talk to us, they're like, "Oh, you're always disciplined."
You know the line.
You guys, and especially you've had people come to you and just be like, "Hey, is it terrible living with Brian?"
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, the dude doesn't relax. He doesn't, he's always seems to just not fall off the plan.
Oh, yeah. And I think that because you're so structured, people assume that kind of you make the rules, quote unquote, as far as kind of how.
Being the disciplined one, or like
yes,
making you like saying this is how you're going to do it.
I think a lot of people probably think it's, you know, you're going to dictate what's in the fridge and when we're going to eat, and because you're so structured that I wonder if people are like, oh, this is, you know, the way that you laying down the law.
that he must be a terrible person to live with. So my backstory, we're not so far in that somebody listening might not have listened to the backstory, but I'm a fat kid in a skinny suit. I struggle with weight. I struggle with food. And the reason I'm so disciplined is because if I've got something in front of me that I'm not supposed to have, I'm going to tear it up.
Oh, yeah, you crush it.
So what looks like on the outside is to discipline is me creating an environment where I can be successful. I think I shake that stuff off just because I'm like, you don't even know. If you put cookies or chips in front of me, it's compulsive. I won't even realize the bag's empty until it's gone.
Exactly.
So when you backslide and you make mistakes, just as some of our clients might have some issues or some concerns or just be down on themselves, trainers don't live perfect lives.
No.
And it's when we say it's cool, it's because we also have days where we're like, man, if one of my clients sees me after this trip, they're going to be like, why would I listen to you? You know, if they had a camera on me while I was, you know, doing my vacation thing, I'd have my clients would be like, you're the worst person that could tell me what I need to do to stay in shape. So if there's a time when it's okay to backslide, it's as long as you immediately address it when you come back. So living a super disciplined life, it sucks.
It does.
You know, you have to want the image and I don't want to say the health. Everybody wants the health. But when you want to walk around with a certain amount of body fat, every point or two of leaner mass is a 1 or 2 percentage of discipline and structure that has to happen on your life. That's super loose. But if you think you can live below 10% body fat and not have a very structured, disciplined life, you're crazy.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you.
So this is the story. That's what we're going to do today, is talk about backsliding. And what are your thoughts when you come back from a trip or something and what's your first paranoid moment?
So the first one for me is always stepping on the scale the morning after. So it's like if we get home on a Friday night, it's the Saturday morning weigh-in where the reckoning. It is. And you have to, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm about to step on something that's not going to lie. Because the whole, you know, I think this was the worst I've ever done.
But how was your trip?
The trip was amazing.
It's amazing.
Honestly, I wouldn't, I don't think it matters where you go or whatever. It just matters the amount of time you get to kind of relax and, you know, connect. For me, I read an entire book and then started another one. It was amazing. I wouldn't change it. What was bizarre this time, which is different than any other vacation for me, is that I have worked really, really hard on my own physical appearance over, I would say, what do you think? Maybe about 9 months?
It's been a 9-month run.
Yep. And it's just the, side story of I had a couple different injuries that I was working around. So it was, I was like, okay, since I can't go out on my workouts like I usually do. I couldn't lift. It was just a little bit of a crazy time that I was like, I'm going to dial in this diet and see what I can do. And I was
nutritional strategy.
My nutritionist strategy.
Right, I hate that word.
But I had gotten so comfortable in my skin with hardly working out at all, which was the crazy part.
Nutrition's key.
Yes, that I was like, oh my gosh, I've got this. And I came back from this trip and I got on the scale and I came downstairs and I said to you, I am completely disappointed in myself.
And it's funny because I care about you. I love you. It hurts me as much because I see the work that you put into it.
Oh my gosh.
And the same amount of disappointment that I feel when I do something like this, it's that complete antithesis, the complete opposite amount of intensity comes back when I'm getting ready to get back on track.
Yeah.
So I use that because typically right before vacation, I'm fed up with the way that you have to eat. I'm fed up with the toe in the line. I'm fed up with all that structure gets old. So
of course it does.
It doesn't matter if you're super fit, just getting started, have been stuck somewhere in the middle for a long time. Everybody hits that plateau with like, I am just through with this.
Right.
And when you are out of your environment, you're out of your routine, you're susceptible to anything and everything.
Oh yeah, anything goes.
We didn't take a food scale.
No.
We didn't take a food scale. I didn't open up my food journal.
No.
I didn't count calories. I didn't do any of that crap.
No.
But it goes to show how quickly, we talk about backsliding, miss a week in the gym, miss 2 weeks in the gym, and then fall out of track with your nutrition for 2 weeks.
Right.
You can lose 20% of your gains.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah. And when you think about the disappointment came from, and granted, if, whatever vacation we're blessed enough to take next, there are some definite things that I will pay a little bit more attention to. I don't regret even a 0.1% that we went away and had an amazing time. It's just very hard knowing that it took months to get somewhere and then days to do a backslide, which do you ever think to yourself, like, I have done so good that I'm not going to backslide like everybody else around again.
You mean while you're in the middle of it, you're thinking in your mind, you're not backsliding, or on your way to there, you're saying, I'm not going to backslide.
Oh no, I come home and on our journey home, I'm like, mine's not going to be that bad.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, for some reason, even though I know exactly what I ate, drank, did activity-wise, everything, I'm like, yeah, it's really not going to be that bad.
I knew damn well what I did. It was like day 3, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's going to be hell to pay. So if you backslide, when you backslide, and it's a cool, nice little way to kind of promote Shapeshift. Our kind of swan song nutrition program that we're putting together, it anticipates these moments because you will. And to think that people get fit and they're locked in for life is bull jive. An injury, you already brought that up.
Yeah.
An injury will knock you out. If your daily nutritional intake is matched to a certain amount of output, and remember, life isn't about calories in, calories out. It doesn't work that way. But your metabolism and the demands for the food that you take that day, your body gets used to the amount of work you put out, and that's where the balance is.
Right.
When you go away or you're injured and kept away from the gym and you start slipping off a little bit, the body's demands will decrease if your activity level decreases, which means your nutrition either has to decrease with it. Well, that's not an if. Your nutrition has to decrease.
Right.
So if your activity level drops and your nutrition doubles, so if you're used to eating 2,000, 2,500 calories a day, and you spent the last 6 days eating 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 calories a day,
that's probably me.
You will have a bad time when you come back and get back to your... It's like Jekyll and Hyde. I mean,
is.
Jekyll, when you leave, you're like, hey, I'll see you when you get back. And Hyde, when you get on the scale, the day you come back, and you're like, look at what I did.
Exactly.
And you're like looking at this thing.
I know.
So it's okay.
Yes.
And you know that you can come back. And
Yes.
I think it takes a good constitution and a good amount of faith in your system to know that's like, look, I hit a speed bump. Don't freak out. I don't need to starve myself. That's the number one
That's the
thing
number one.
people do wrong.
Yep.
I don't need to go double down on my cardio, which means I'm going to go run for a couple hours a day, and I'm going to go lift, and I'm going to go to OTF, and I'm going to do all these things, and I'm going to make up for it. That's the worst thing you can do. Because now what you're doing is that you're putting so much work that your energy demands have tripled, and your intake is down to a third.
Yep.
And what your body is doing is it's confused as hell. Anything you lose is not going to stay. And you end up in that cycle of just heck where I can't lose the weight. The weight I am losing, I'm chewing through muscle because I'm not eating to maintain the same amount of mass that I had. And all I'm doing is running myself cardio into the ground.
Oh, yeah. And I think the coolest part, and this has been our life for so long, that you're a great person to have as a support person, because, you know, I came down and I was like, I'm so disappointed. And you were like, did you not have fun on vacation? I was like, I had a great time. And
you got to leave it there.
And the next thing you said was, how long do you really, if you kind of reset your mind and look at things differently today, how long do you think it's going to take till you bounce back? And it wasn't you didn't start with anything like, you should be disappointed, or or anything like that. No. But I could tell that you were just like, basically stop the negative talk. You did what we did. We did what we did. We had an amazing vacation. And now let's call this kind of like day one. So take your backslide, throw it out the window. And from now, change the habits into your old habits for your nutritional strategy that was working for you. And it was so nice to just hear.
Just like you plan for your trip.
Yeah.
How long it's going to take to travel, how long it's going to take to get there, your nights and all that stuff. Your time home. We know some people that run in those circles that are, I like to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I drink. And I will eat carbs, and I will have some anything that fancies me right there. I don't have a problem with it.
Yep.
There's certain influencers in the fitness world that we know. The idea that you're never going to drink, the idea that you're not going to have the snacks, that you're not going to eat the foods that you normally steer clear of, is silly. So once you backslide, if you, just like you planned your time away, if you plan your strategy for when you come back, instead of getting that shock and awe moment where you're like, what do I do? Where do I go from here? Holy crap, look at all the damage I've done. Because most people, that will drive them away from the gym. Right. Unless they said what we mentioned earlier, that they just double down on the work and cut the food in half, and they go into desperate mode. But the 7-day recovery and the 14-day recovery they were putting together for Shapeshift, I'm almost going to say it's going to be, we're not 100% sure how we're going to frame this, but it's either going to be the 7-day program if you're up to 7 pounds, and the 7 to 14 pounds is going to be the 14-day. Right. And that's going to be just a back to basics, clean eating structure guideline. There's a little bit of extra activity in there just to kind of counterbalance all the what that you put into your body.
That's a good way to put it.
But the psychology can be repaired as long as you anticipate where you're going to go, understand that you have a plan and a strategy for how you're going to fix it, and then within a week or two, you're right back on track.
Yeah. I mean, and already, I think where a lot of at least, my head before was like, well, I've already done X amount of damage, so I might as well keep up with it. And that was, don't you agree, that was a lot of the old thinking of, well, if I've already backslid so much, what's 5 more pounds or 2 more pounds? What does it even matter at this point? I'm never going to get there anyway.
How much do you think, how pervasive is that amongst females? I don't think guys think that way.
Knowing just the women that I'm close to, I'd say almost 75%, possibly even 80% that I've talked to have just said, well, I'm so far gone anyway.
What's the point?
What is it? What does? And it's crazy. Most of the time it's like, well, what's another pound or two? And it's like, but I had to finally wrap my head around the feeling of, what, it's okay to go and enjoy yourself and have some foods that you haven't, and, have some drinks if that's your thing. But the disappointment that I felt, I don't want to see another pound on that scale or two. Like, to me, it was like, I had so much fun. Honest to God, don't regret 1 minute of it. But now it's time to get back to me and feel super confident in my own skin again.
Do you think that there's a gap? So if somebody had hit their goal and they were living that goal, so you had mentioned that you were in the zone for a long while. Because you were there, do you have a greater faith you can get back there versus someone that was still on the path? Then they didn't hit it though. So they fell off the path. They were still 10, 15 pounds off their mark.
Right.
They put back the weight that they'd knocked off. Now they're 20 pounds in theory away from their goal. Is that going to be a greater challenge mentally for those people versus the ones that are just like yourself and you're like, I need to buckle down. I'm not going to put on 1 more pound. Or does being so far away from your end goal make it worse?
I think so I'm a perfect person. Obviously, I'm a girl, but it's also, we have now been home for, it's been over 24 hours, right? I get so confused. But now I've already seen that it's, the scales changed already in a positive direction. I look better in the mirror and stuff. So for me, it's like, oh, please, I am going to be back to where I was. I have no doubt. And it's not going to take me as long as I think it is. Like, I'm in it. I do see what you're saying with being so far from the goal, and thank goodness I'm not. But if you were, yeah, I could see how it's...
The body has some resiliency.
Start.
That if you are living a structured life for a longer period of time, your ability to recover is going to be greater. Your body wants to get back to normal. It's going to get rid of the things that it isn't used to having on hand, all that extra energy and the inflammation that comes with eating that way, and the travel and everything else. You will come back.
Definitely.
Okay, so we started out just by sharing, hey, trainers backslide. That even the best of us, it's okay to walk off path for a little while,
of course,
as long as you build in that you have a route to come back to.
Yep.
But we can kind of feather this in with people that they have an issue once they leave the gym. So we're using vacation, an intentional departure. But if you've got the injuries, if you end up in a position where you're hurt and you are unable to do anything, so you can't do cardio, you can't do any lifting. If you look at your nutritional approach, you have to reduce slightly the amount of calories you take in, reduce the carbs, increase the protein so that you can maintain your mass. You don't want to lose muscle, and you don't want to decrease calories to the point where you're going to be fatigued and tired and you lose that ability to function normally.
Right.
But if you are in that situation where, hey, it's not that I'm going on vacation, but I am backsliding because I'm not active, a 20% reduction in carbohydrates and then increase in at least 15 to 20% your protein, just to kind of keep away from that wasting effect. So that's an approach for that. The other one is extended durations away from home. The longer you take to come back and start getting back integrated with your life, the worse it's going to be for you. So it's almost like it needs to be a mantra or something that just says, get off your butt and go do it.
It does. I think something that's always worked for us, though, is that we don't have a house full of, crap, so to speak, waiting for us when we get back from vacation. So our mind is very much like if we're taking a long weekend or staying overnight somewhere and, we're going to eat a 10-course meal and enjoy every bit of it. We don't come home and continue it. We come home and it's like, wow, what an awesome time. I had so much fun. And then we're back to our normal breakfast the very next day.
Do you think it would help to have, I can imagine even writing yourself a note. So you're getting ready to go on vacation and you write yourself that welcome home letter that just says, glad you had fun. Here's what you need to do when you get back.
Yeah.
It's not gone too long. Your groceries are taken care of, or you've got something that's in the house that you can begin your routine right away. The body's brilliant. As soon as you start getting back to normal, everything else will fall in line.
Yeah.
If you continue to do odd things, stay up late, skip the gym, don't sleep, those weird things you're still not into the routine, and it will continue on the behaviors that are taking you away from your goal.
Exactly. No, and I love that idea of writing a note. I think we're each other's note.
Welcome home, fatty. Hope you had fun. Time to go to work.
Exactly. But you pegged it. It's like, I really like that idea. But it's like, just jump back into the routine that you were doing that was working for you.
It'll come back.
I mean,
It'll come back so quick.
You hit the gym the moment that you can hit the gym. I mean, we were back in within a day and a half, and it was, just start moving again. Like I said, the next morning after vacation, we without fail, we just start eating exactly the way we were doing it before. It's easy for us. We don't have junk food ever in here, but it's not bringing anything home. If you travel with food in your bag that you typically wouldn't eat, we don't buy extra that's waiting for us when we get home.
That's a hard cycle and if you've been having a good time and you reintegrated something that you really like, and you make that mistake of bringing that home with you, which you're like, oh, I want a little bit more of that. I missed eating this before. I ate it on vacation or when I was at mom's house, or there's that one thing that you can't control and you bring it home.
Ooh, mom's house is the best.
Mom's house has got, she's got food you're not supposed to eat. Well, cool. Do you have any other kind of survival tips on backsliding?
My biggest one is just don't feel like you always have to be on. I mean, for us, go and enjoy your trip and your time. And when you get back, just accept that it was for that time. If you are going away for 2 days and for 2 days you're going to be, quote unquote bad, leave it to the 2 days. Come home and just start doing what you were doing before if it was working. Don't beat yourself up.
It's a fun example, but our 10th anniversary, I was doing, and this is why I don't care anymore.
I know.
So I had just started in with that national company. I'm only not saying it because I don't want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're doing some stuff for some people.
I was doing some stuff for this guy at this place, and I was doing video.
Yep.
And it was one of my first times on video with somebody else. I don't know why I'm not saying it. It was Tony Horton. So it was my first time on set. And I was filming. They gave me the opportunity to come out, and it was a big deal because I'd never done it before.
Yeah.
And we went on our 10-year anniversary, and I had planned this like to the letter. I mean, we had this awesome trip planned at a brand new hotel, and it was all inclusive, and everything was going to be perfect. And then these plans came up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't eat bad and I can't drink. So I'm just going to sit here and watch you do it.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It sucked.
We were out like 6 days.
Yeah.
And it was at the end of that time, obviously things with that company didn't pan out. Well, not the way that I thought they were going to. And I ended up losing 6 days of my 10th year anniversary with you. And I was like, I'll never not enjoy something again.
Right.
Which is why my whole attitude on things has changed. Live disciplined 99% of the time.
Yep.
And at 1%, just have fun, but it's got to stay to 1%.
Yep.
2 at the most. Because if you travel a couple times a year, let's just say 2%, go off the rails, have fun. Just when you'd nailed it, get back into your routine.
Exactly.
Immediately.
And 2, don't be, I mean, this might come to a shock some of you, but we actually work out on vacation. But don't cut
day.
all of it out. I mean, it's like if you can sleep for 7 hours and you're happy, sleep for the 7 and get out of bed and go to the gym if that's your routine. And just be mindful. I mean, as naughty as we are on vacation with eating and drinking, like I don't think we've ever drank at dinner. Like it's just, still remember that you are going to come home, and if you're concerned ever about backsliding, just remember that, the more you do there that's bad, that's what you're going to bring home.
You got to undo.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm gonna be a little bit more real. I've been in that zone where I've been 5-6% body fat, and where most trainers and most people and most programs in the fitness industry, they're going to show you this fantasy goal where they're going to say, you can look like this and be social and go out to parties and go on vacations. You can't.
No.
Because those people are carrying their crap in Ziploc bags. They're walking around with a food scale everywhere they go.
Right.
And very similar to our 10-year anniversary, they're missing out on things. So there's a balance. Do you want to look like the cover of a magazine?
Right.
Have no sex drive, have no fun. And I mean it. I don't care what you say if you're listening. You don't have fun watching everybody else have fun. I'm not saying be gloaty or don't be a glutton.
Right.
I said gloaty.
I like it. Gloaty.
Don't be a glutton. But there's a point there where it's like, look great, have fun, integrate those things into your life, recover, get back on track.
Yep.
And that formula works. And most of the other programs, not Shapeshift, most of those other programs, it's either you're on or you're off. You're in that discipline or you're off. You want a sip of something, great, then get back where you are. You're not allowed to do those things. And it is unrealistic, and that's why most people, the countries are stressed out. The United States is a high stress place.
Right.
We work too much, we're too stressful. So when it comes time to relax and chill, people do not want to live that disciplined life that people sell them on nutrition programs. I want to have fun. And can you get me back where I was before I was there?
Yep. And I think the cool thing is with Shapeshift too, is that it's not a...
You see how we're working this in? There's an accent.
It's not a... You're not going to come back and it's not some starvation freak plan. Like you said, you're not coming back. We're not like, hey, the secret sauce is a 10-mile run and eating
900 calories a day.
3 egg whites a day. Like it's actually real. What's fun is that we've done it. What's fun is that we're going to do it again to make sure that it still works
We're going to document it
as we age a little bit. But it's very real and it's feasible and it's doable and it's not, yesterday we started ours and it wasn't painful at all. It was like, oh my gosh, I feel like me again. I feel amazing. My energy's back.
Have a plan. Have a plan and have a guide to get you back on track and you will not miss a beat.
Boom.
Boom. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Thank you for awesome input and feedback. Jenny always brings it. She brings it.
You cracked me up.
And thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Please share, please like, please pass along. Our message is simple, and that is to give anybody that wants to listen the greatest fitness and nutrition advice possible for free.
Yeah.
And this allows us to get to more people whenever it's convenient for you,
yes,
as opposed to standing in front of us and just talking face to face.
Oh, yeah. And if you click on anything, if you're listening to this or clicking on through Facebook, comment below. And if you've had any good or bad experiences on vacation and just need either some support or a like or a high five, we're happy to do it.
I would absolutely love to hear what the biggest struggle is for y'all.
Yeah.
Coming back from a trip or vacation or a holiday or your wedding or what it was that got you stuck and busted and where you think that could have been fixed.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Until next time.
All right.
All right, guys. Love y'all.
Thanks for listening to the Beyond the Dumbbells show. We know you have thousands of options for content and entertainment. We appreciate you spending time with us. If you enjoyed our show, please share our web address, www.beyondthedumbbells.com, and maybe drop us a review. Until next time, live beyond.